JoBlo.com. I'm serious.
Hey everyone, this is Walkuski from JoBlo.com, and of course we're here at Comic-Con, and I'm standing with
Paul Shirey, editor-in-chief, JoBlo.com, and we just got out of the Warner Brothers panel, and it was amazing. A lot of great stuff, a lot of trailers, which a lot of you probably have already watched about 1,000 times at this point.
the panel was 2.5 hours long, right? Which might be a record. Yeah, a little long. So they kicked things off with DC stuff, right? We've seen the trailers, but let's go through them. They showed us the Wonder Woman trailer.
Well, before that, they showed, like they always do every year, they give you kind of a sizzle reel, and they showed the sizzle, and this time that, at the end, and it wasn't a lot of new stuff, it was a lot of the CW type stuff that we've seen before with the animated stuff, but they showed and flashed all the titles of the upcoming films, and of note, again, we already know these films are coming, but they showed the Batman logo, as part of that, and then they showed the Green Lantern Corps again. Still nothing new on Green Lantern Corps, but that logo is still there, so that means the movie is still coming. I know a lot of people were hoping and wanting to see a reveal for like Birds of Prey or something new that we don't know about yet, but I guess they weren't ready to let that cat out of the bag today.
They also had the directors out. They had Ben Affleck, they had James Wan, Rick Famuyiwa, Patty Jenkins.
When they're introduced as like the architects of the DCEU, which is pretty cool. So, and again, you have Affleck on stage as part of that, which we know he's helping produce Justice League, but is also in fact directing the new Batman. So it's pretty cool to have him out there. Yeah. And James Wan was like super excited, and he was like, "Fucking Aquaman!" So it was like, and then Conan was like, hey, this is all children here,
right.
Which is not true because I'm a grown man.
They showed the Justice League trailer again. We've seen it, or the teaser. Talk about the audience reaction. How do you feel that teaser went over?
For me, as a fan, as somebody that loves this shit, just sitting there watching it, there's a number of times where I was getting I got like little goosebumps, seeing Aquaman standing there, like the waves wash over him, and the scene where Bruce Wayne throws the Batarang at the Flash and he catches. I mean, that's just that's the cool shit. I think that's the stuff that fans really, really want out of like the DCEU. A lot of people were upset about the tone and the pace and everything of Batman vs Superman, and you really feel that there is a genuine push with this to bring that tone and style, to give it more humor, to give it more liveliness, and it has like zero of the darkness.
They're really like, guess what? This is going to be fun. We know that's what you want. We want fun. Aquaman looked awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Aquaman looked great, and there's the scene where he's like, "Arthur Curry, I hear you talk to fish." Yeah. I mean, that was pretty funny. I was and that was good stuff. It wasn't like forced humor. It was good humor. It was like, all right, hey, I can get into this, and it felt genuine. I mean, everybody went nuts, and I think that's part of what. Again, when you see this in a Hall H experience, the sound rattles your clothes.
Yeah,
the sound it's amazing. It is really. I wish I could watch every movie in Hall H. Seriously. But I mean, just seeing that and hearing the audience reaction with Justice League was awesome, and everybody was just super stoked.
Wonder Woman, which the trailer is also online, that looks pretty goddamn amazing, I'd say.
Yeah.
Would they talk about the panel in terms of how that kind of fits into the Justice League world?
They didn't really talk about how it fits in overall, but the director Patty Jenkins came out, and she's kind of philosophical about Wonder Woman. She was very much about heroes, they can be strong and tough, but they also need to be forgiving and loving. And she said forgiving a lot. So I feel like there's maybe a lot more going on there with Wonder Woman's character that we don't really know about yet. Gal Gadot came out. She was super just pumped, and she was actually nervous. She was like, I'm trying to catch my breath. I need some water or something, because she was just overwhelmed with passion and excitement for this character in this movie, and that was really cool to see.
That's awesome. Yeah. Then of course they brought out the Suicide Squad, and they released yet another trailer. I feel like they've released about 800 trailers for that movie,
and yet I never get tired of them.
Yeah, no, it still looks so cool.
They're so brilliantly edited, and we saw new footage. I mean, you guys have seen it 1,000 times already, but I mean, it's just the way that they're edited, the style and everything. It's so consistent, and it's, even though they're a little different in each one, they're beautifully edited, much like Mad Max Fury Road. Right. It was like, holy shit, that is a beautifully chopped trailer, and the same thing here with Suicide Squad.
Any interesting stories from the set? I mean, we already know that Jared Leto was acting pretty crazy, preparing for the Joker. Any new revelations?
It is to note, and I know some people have already seen the film and they haven't spoiled it yet, but I mean, Scott Eastwood was out on stage as well, which is kind of curious because we know nothing about his character. There's a lot of speculation of who he is, isn't. But if he's just a military henchman, I don't see why they would bring him on stage with the entire crew. So that was kind of like,
Yeah.
you know.
He didn't have anything to say, though.
No, he literally said nothing. He just sat there.
Standing.
Maybe he snuck in. I don't know. David Ayer, he's very passionate about what he's doing with the DC universe, and he's like, you know, DC owns this shit. It owns Hall H. And I don't know. I guess, you know, we'll see at the end of the day, you know, once Marvel does their thing. He talked about Leto kind of being, he said he was like the hammer that sharpened the sword for the Suicide Squad cast, which I thought was very interesting. So a guy knocks on Will Smith's trailer, comes in, he's like this big, like, burly guy, and he's like, got this box, I got a delivery for you from Mr. J. And he gives him the box, and Will Smith's like, what? Like, what? He's like, get security over here. And he's like, but he takes the box. He's like, you know, I get it. It's like, it's like a Jared Leto kind of. He's really into the character. This is funny. But then Margot Robbie opens the box and it's the rat. And he said she jumped, and then he said something like, he's like, if I had a pearl necklace on, I would have yanked it off. But it was funny the way he told it, even though we've heard it 1,000 times. The Lego Batman, it was a kind of an extended trailer from what I saw at CinemaCon when they showed some footage of Robin trying out the outfits, how he becomes Robin in the Lego Batman cinematic universe, which is thankfully very different from the DCEU. People would be shitting their pants right now, I guarantee you. It looks like exactly what you expect. It looks like the Lego Batman movie, with the same humor and style and tone and everything from the Lego movie. So if you like that, you're gonna like this. And if you haven't seen the trailer already, I mean, it's basically just kind of, it shows the whole Robin scene where Robin comes aboard, and Batman's very kind of blasé. He's like, Alfred's like, hey, you know, are you going to take care of your son? And he's like, what son? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, the son that you adopted at the gala that you had last night. He's like, I thought that was a joke. So, I mean, it's like, it's got that humor, you know, and it's really funny.
I heard that you see Harley Quinn in there, and Poison Ivy, and any other like cameos.
It seemed like there was everybody. I mean, they showed Joker, Zach Galifianakis' Joker. Obviously not a dark and mean Joker like we've had before. It was, you know, kind of a humorous kind of Joker.
So then they showed, I guess, King Arthur, right? What was the panel for that like?
I was surprised. It looks really cool. It was not what I expected based on what I knew already. What I anticipated it was going to be was kind of like a Sherlock Holmes style King Arthur type film where, you know, it wouldn't have like the otherworldly elements. Because, you know, Guy Ritchie's, he's like the street level guy. And strangely enough, they're still pushing that. It's in the trailer, I think. The trailer starts and there's all like these mystical magic elements and creatures and like kind of this Frank Frazetta style like creatures that are in there, like mystical creatures. And I was like, whoa. I mean, I was kind of taken back. I was like, oh shit, that's much cooler than I anticipated. It looks like a Guy Ritchie movie just with more magic and swords and shit.
Sherlock Holmes with some magic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's actually pretty good. That's a pretty good comparison. And I'm a Guy Ritchie fan. I dig his style. I like Charlie Hunnam. I watched Sons of Anarchy until that shit last season. But it looks good. And for the ladies, Charlie Hunnam has his shirt off at least in 2 scenes. You're good to go.
You enjoy it. And me. The one I was super stoked about was Kong Skull Island. Okay, that trailer, again, online right now. Looks pretty incredible. So epic. They had Hiddleston out there. John Goodman was out there. Was Brie Larson on the panel too?
Yeah, Brie Larson showed up. Tom Hiddleston came out. Lots of panties dropped. His character is a former SAS agent, soldier, and that basically he's leading an expedition onto the island. Samuel L. Jackson is like a colonel. He's basically just in charge of like the Hueys, like the helicopters, and that's kind of like the setup. And then Brie Larson made it clear that she's a war photographer, but she's an anti-war photographer. But she wanted to make sure that was known, so I guess that factors into the story to some point. John Goodman, they didn't really give specifics on his character, but he knows something, as you saw in the trailer. So he's got some kind of connection to it, but we still don't know what that is. Jordan Roberts looks like he's like on it, like you can feel that he's really into this film. This isn't like, hey, we just hired some director to make a Kong movie. Nothing on Godzilla, unfortunately. And I was almost hoping at first, I was like, maybe they'll show like Godzilla in the trailer or something. But they're like, no, we're gonna show Kong at the end of the trailer. It's called
Kong Origin Story. Yeah.
But I mean, that would be some serious fan service if they threw him in there. So, What did you think of the Kong?
I thought it looked pretty cool, man. I mean, it's epic. It's still like a tease, but I'm down because I love giant monster movies, and I was stoked for Godzilla, and Godzilla let me down a little bit, except for the Godzilla stuff, which I love. Finally, I can't remember if this is the end. You also had Fantastic Beasts.
And Fantastic Beasts. Are you still recording? We're checking. We're checking.
Yeah.
Checking our Twitter.
Rusty's like, is this gonna be part of the video? It was 10 minutes ago, dude.
What did we see? I can't. My short-term memory sucks. If I can't fucking remember, it probably was not that cool. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then finally, I believe the big finale was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the unofficial Harry Potter sequel. Well, I guess it is kind of official, right? I mean,
I guess a more official prequel.
What can you tell us about the panel? What did they say about it?
Director David Yates came out first and kind of introduced it, and obviously the guy directed like the last 4 or 5 Harry Potter movies, so he's well invested in the universe. And then he brought out Eddie Redmayne, and then Eddie Redmayne came out and they did this little spiel, and they handed out wand. Oh, I should get the wand. They handed out wands, and every single person in Hall H got a Newt Scamander. What I don't know to say the fucking name.
Okay. So this is the wand.
Gave out the wand. Newt Scamander. I'm still fucking up that name. I'll read here. No, I'm not. Newt Scamander. I was right.
What does that do?
This, if you have papers on your desk and you don't want them to fly away, you set this down.
Oh, nice. I have that problem.
All right, here's the thing. I've seen all the Harry Potter films. I've read all the Harry Potter books. I really enjoyed both books and the films. I enjoy them. I'm not like dying for Fantastic Beasts. However, the people when they started the trailer and they started to introduce it, Fantastic Beasts, the audience behind me was like, well, we don't give a shit what you think, because they were like really into it. Like really, I was kind of surprised.
Did Eddie Redmayne have anything interesting to say about the character, or just like what it means to be a part of the Harry Potter universe?
No, I think he was a little more reserved. Like, he's very excited, obviously, to be a part of this. But he was asked, are there going to be any Easter eggs to Harry Potter? It's like, yeah, I wonder. He was like, but he didn't. He's like, I'm not saying anything. He's like, I'm not giving them away. They actually talked a lot about Colleen Atwood being, the costume designer, and how like what a badass she is. And Ezra Miller was on the panel as well, and he was like, she is a gangster. Like, she will just look at you and know your exact sizing and everything, and like down to the detail. Colin Farrell, just being Colin Farrell, is like on the panel, and he was like, yes, like she even made period underwear. And that was like, everybody was kind of like, well, oh.
Everyone went real dirty with that real quick. The Fantastic Beast panel.
Well, and then Ezra Miller, he's like, I'm actually wearing the period underwear right now. I kept some. And it was just like, got weirder and weirder. And then Conan was like, all right, on that note, we're going to end the panel. Yeah. I think it looks good. I'm not dying for Fantastic Beasts. But I appreciate and respect you fans that are.
Wrapping up, any final thoughts? Well, what was the one that just blew you away the most?
Justice League, by far. Justice League, I'm a comic nerd, been a comic nerd forever, and I'm actually somebody that actually I really liked BVS. I didn't love it. I loved aspects of it, and I hate aspects of it. It's a mixed bag, but in the end, it's like I'm very, very happy the DCU is kicked off. I think the Justice League is really going to right a lot of the wrongs that people felt that they had. Yeah. And I think it'll appeal to everybody.
You have to break a few eggs to make a good omelet, that kind of thing.
What was yours? What was your?
I thought the Wonder Woman trailer was just super impressive. I just was really into it. I thought every set piece looked great. The action looked great. Maybe a little too much on the slow-mo, fast-mo thing, which was emulating Zack Snyder a little bit.
That's what I was gonna say. I tweeted that too when I saw it. I was like, it really had like that 300 style for the action. I love that though, so I don't complain about that.
Well, it's cool,
right? And I think surprisingly, Patty Jenkins is like, because she's not known as an action director, so I was surprised to see how these shots, like the Amazon warriors riding out on the horses and like fighting, and like awesome. The scene where I believe it was Wonder Woman jumping with the bow and arrow and fighting, that's like some really cool shit, and just done really, really well. And I definitely got the 300 vibe, but not in a bad way. I love 300 anyway.
And the relationship between her and Chris Pine looks like really interesting and going to be a huge part of that movie.
Yeah, it's definitely not like, as Patty Jenkins was very clear, she's like, it's not a sidekick relationship. It's very much he is who he is, she is who she is, and they make it happen together. So
Well, pretty big panel for you, 2.5 hours. You probably need a nap right now.
I need
a drink.
A cheeseburger and some time to write this, and then we'll have some more later. So
it's all going up on JoBlo.com along with all those trailers, and we're gonna have a lot more in the next 2 or 3 days. Right? We're gonna have so many videos up. It's insane what we're doing here.
Lots more videos, lots more write-ups, lots more articles,
Gallery.
tons of stuff. So stick with us here, JoBlo.com. We got everything you need here at SDCC.
All right. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Spelliarmus.